All right, so there's four, to me, there's four main steps for finding and cleaning up duplicate givers. So if you're going through enter donations or you're searching on a report and you see, oh, someone's popping up twice or even more than twice. It's a duplicate situation where you want to go in and clean it up so all the records are on one person so you can get accurate reports and especially a clean donation statement for someone. So those four steps would be figure out how many times a person has been entered into the program, and then you're going to figure out which version of that person you're wanting to keep. Step 2 is going to be to transfer the giving. Step 3 is going to be to transfer the giver number if you use giver numbers. And then step 4 would be terminating any of the duplicates. Okay, now if you are a pledging church, another step would be moving pledging. You'd want to make sure the pledging is on the right person. Okay? So, first things first, how do you figure out how many duplicates you have? For me, I think the best place to start is going to be in Manage Givers. This is a really easy window to see how many times somebody's been entered into the program. So I have an example set up for us. Let me go down here. So as you can see, we have James Kildare. He's in here 3 different times. We have a James with number 13, a James with number 78, and a James with number 261. So we figured out how many times he's in here. Now we need to figure out what area of the program he's from so we can get him cleaned up. Okay, so there's a couple different ways that you can go about figuring out where they were originally entered into the program. So if we look at this version here that I have selected, 261, this version of James, we can see that he has a D after his last name, and he also has this check mark here in donations givers. Now the D and the check mark are telling us the same thing. It's telling us that this version of James Kildare is a donations giver. So that means that he's been entered directly into the donations module. Okay, so he's only showing up here in donations. Now, there are 2 other versions of James. Let me erase my drawings here. As we can see, there's no D and there's no check mark. So that tells us that these other 2 versions, the 13 and the 78, are both from the membership side of Church Windows. Okay. Now, if we look lower in the list, just want to point something out. William King here. William King has a V. So that tells us that this version of William King is from membership visitors. Okay. So what we have researched and figured out is that this version of James is from membership members because he doesn't have a D or a V. This version is also from membership members, and this version is from donations. Okay, so now we figured out how many versions of James we have. Now we need to figure out which version of him we want to keep. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hop over into membership members and we're going to do a search on Kildare. And we're going to look at both versions of James, the 13, giver number 13 and giver number 78. And we're going to look at both of those versions and figure out which one is the best one or which one has the most information. Let me go ahead and minimize donations. And we're going to go into membership. And we're going to pull up members. All right, so great way to look for duplicates is doing a mailing label search. So you're going to come up to the top left, you're going to hit your find button. And in the mailing label, we're going to type James's last name, which is Kildare. Now we're going to put an asterisk first, and then an asterisk after, okay? And then we're going to either hit enter or go. And here are 2 versions of James that we were seeing over in donations. So we need to figure out which is the good one amongst these 2 that we're going to keep. So I'm going to highlight the first version here. And I'm going to hit this go to button. Let me grab my highlighter real quick so you can see where it is. Go to button is going to take us right to that James's record that we have highlighted. Hit go to. And here we are, James Kildare. This is the one with giver number 13. We can see right here. And also, if we look down through all this personal information, there's a lot of good information here. So this record is looking pretty promising that this is going to be the one that we're wanting to keep. Okay, but let's go check the other one just to make sure. So back up at the top, there's this grid button. Let me highlight it so you see it. This takes you back to the fine grid we were just on. So we're going to hit the fine grid to go back, and now we're going to highlight this second version of James, and we're going to hit go to, and we're going to take a peek at this record. Alright, this is giver 78, but as we can see, there's really not a lot of good information on here. So if it were up to me, I would say we need to keep the other James. That's the one that has the good information. That's the one that we want to get the giving moved to. So once again, back to our grid. We're highlighting the first James and we're hitting go to. And here's the good one. So what we need to do next is we need to set up some type of identifier for us over in donations so we know that this is the good James. We can of course go by the giver number. We can know that we need to keep giver number 13. But for me, as a little extra piece of information, I like to go into the first name box and put a little asterisk at the end so I know even if I were to shift numbers around or remove numbers altogether, this is the James that is the good one that I need all the giving moved to. So with the asterisk in place, I'm going to hit save. Okay, now back to donations. And now if I pull up Manage Givers just to show you real quick, we can see now we have a James Kildare with the asterisk. So that's the good one. Okay, so we figured out how many times they've been entered. We've figured out which one we're keeping. Now we need to go in and we need to transfer that giving. To do that, we are going to go up to Givers up here at the top, and then we're going to click on Transfer Donations. Oops, let me click OK through this. Here we go. Okay, we'll have to look into that exception. But at this point, this is the transfer screen. So this is where we're going to move any of the giving off of the duplicates, and we're going to put it on the James with the asterisk, the one that we're keeping. So the from giver, this is who giving is coming off of. And then the to giver, this is who we want the giving to go to. So we know our to giver is the James with the asterisk. So I'm going to go ahead and pull him up real quick. Here we go, giver 13, James with the asterisk. And he already has some giving on here. And we're going to go over to the left in our from giver box. And we're going to type in his last name again. So as you can see, we have giving on all versions of James. Okay, James Kildare with the asterisk here, that's the good one. We're not going to worry about that one for now. But if you look up here, James Kildare, the other one from membership that we're not keeping, has giving. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to select that one. So it looks like there's two gifts here on the duplicate version of James. And to move that giving, we're going to come right here in the middle and hit Transfer Selected. What this is going to do is reverse the two donations off of duplicate James and re-enter it to the James Kildare. This is the good one. Yes, we're sure. And here are our new transaction numbers. And we're going to hit OK. So now the giving has jumped from the left over to the right. All right. Next thing, we're going to come back over to the left and we're going to type in Kildare again, and we're choosing the second option here. We're choosing James Kildare with 261. Looks like there's just one gift here for $150. We also need to move this over to the version of James that we're keeping. Hitting Transfer Selected. Are you sure? Yes. And here are your new transaction numbers. And you see the giving is moved off and is now over here. Now, couple other things I want to point out on this screen. You do have a date range section right here. Now this date range section, you can in fact go back multiple years and move giving all to the same person from past years. So say for example you've had a duplicate situation on James Kildare for several years. If that's the case, you can definitely go in and take the first year back to say 2010 when James first started coming around. That is totally fine to do, and you can move everything from years past. Okay, another important thing I want to point out is if you're cleaning up a duplicate and you ever come over here to this From Giver box and you're looking for one of your duplicates and you can't find them over there, what that's telling you is that that version of that person doesn't actually have any giving on them. So long story short, the only people you're going to see in that left side From Giver box are people that do in fact have giving to move. If there's no giving on them to move, then you're not going to see them in the From Giver box. Okay? Now, so we have all the giving moved. Now we're going to work on moving the giver number, or removing giver numbers sometimes too. So let me close this. And the best screen for cleaning up or handling, changing giver numbers, whatever you want to call it, is up here under Manage Numbers. I'll go ahead and click on Manage Numbers. And this screen is going to show you everybody that has a giver number in the current period, so as of today. And you can of course adjust these boxes if you want to see past or future numbers, but we're going to focus right on current. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll down till I find my Jameses. Okay, so here they are. I have my James Kildare that has number 78. I have my James Kildare that is a donations giver, and then I have my James with the asterisk. Okay, so because this is the version of James we're keeping with the number 13, what we're going to do is go in and we're going to delete the numbers off of these two duplicates. So 78 and 261 are available to assign to someone else. So it's pretty simple to do that. You're just going to highlight the person whose number you want to remove, and you're going to follow the box over to the right. Let me grab my highlighter. And you're just going to hit this little minus sign here. So we're going to click the minus sign, and we are going to choose the option to delete giver number 78. Okay? And just agree. So now if we scroll down on the list, here we are. We just have one left, and this is James, the donations giver, with 261. And we're going to also delete this giver number, hitting the minus sign again, and we're choosing the delete giver number 261 option. And we're going to say OK. So now, if I scroll back down, we just have one James with number 13, which is what we want. Alright, so we've transferred the giving, and we've handled the giver number situation. We've deleted the other giver numbers off the duplicates. The next step now is to terminate those two duplicates so they stop appearing and cause us future headache, okay? So let me close Manage Numbers. And we are going to pop back over into Membership Members. Alright, so this is the good version of James. This is the one we're keeping. We don't want to terminate this one, but we're going to jump back up to our grid results again. And we're going to select this second version of him, and we're going to hit Go To. And now you can see there's no giver number showing up in his box because we deleted it, so that's good. And now we need to come down and terminate him so he stops popping up and we accidentally put giving on him. So to hide someone so they stop appearing on reports and in donations and things like that is this reason for termination field. we want to assign him a duplicate record code, which is right here. Now, if you come in to terminate somebody and you don't have a duplicate record code, you can always come down here to the bottom left and hit this Add Items button, and you can make another code and call it duplicate record. And you want to make sure you use a duplicate record code, so if you ever are doing reports at the end of the year, things like that, you don't want these people included in your numbers. So we're going to add duplicate record to the item. Let me close this. There we go. And then we're going to hit save. All right, so this version of James Kildare has been cleaned up. Now, while we're in here, we might as well hop back over to our other version of James, and we're going to get rid of this asterisk that we have. We don't really need that anymore. We're going to save it. And the last step is to go back over into donations, into manage givers, and we still have that donations giver version that we need to get rid of, which is this one here with the D and the check mark. Now, because this one was originally entered into donations, as we saw, he didn't show up over in membership, so we have to take care of terminating him here in donations. So to do that, we're going to look over to the right on this inactive terminated box, and we are going to put a check mark in that box. Okay. Get rid of my drawings again. And once he's checked, you can hit refresh givers, or you can close out and come back in if you like. But now, when we search for Kildare, we only have one. He has the right number, he has no asterisk, and he has all the giving. Okay, so I know I kind of boogied through that, but there was a lot to cover. I hope that was clear for you. Like I said, you can hop out to the website and print the document now that I know where it is. Search duplicate, and it's going to have the same version. It's going to go over James Kildare. It's very, very similar example. Well, let me see if there's any questions coming in I can help Kelly Ann answer. If you have any questions regarding the topic at hand, the duplicate, please, please, please feel free to type it in and we'll go over it. Go ahead and type those in and we'll get to answering them. Someone's asking, why don't you use the delete button in Manage Givers? Wendy, that's a great question. Wendy is referring to this button down here at the bottom right. It's grayed out at the moment, but let me highlight it for you. That might have actually made it harder to see. Let me clear that out. So you can't delete givers that have donations on them. The program won't let you as a safeguard. So if you have someone who had giving that you transferred off, like we did with the two versions of James, they still have a history of reverse transactions on them because they gave at one point. The program will not let you delete those people. The only way you're going to be able to use the delete button in this window is if, one, they are a donations giver, meaning they were entered directly into the donations module, and two, they have no giving history. Then that delete button would be active and you'd be able to use it. All right, let's see what else we got here. We have a question from Cheryl. She's asking, or she's saying, I have a member that transferred out, then is back in visitors. Oh, my screen just jumped on me. Hold on 1 second here, guys. I have a member that transferred out, then is back as a visitor. How do I handle that? Cheryl, in my opinion, best case would be if they transferred out and they have come back as a visitor, I would remove their reason for termination so they become active again. And if they're truly not a member of the church anymore, then you can transfer them over into the visitors module. All right, so let's see. Yeah, someone's asking, how do I get rid of people that have pledging? I have no active pledge for people I cannot delete in membership. Heidi, if someone has a pledging history, you cannot delete them either. That's another safeguard of the program. You would want to assign a reason for termination. All right. We're a little over the 20-minute mark, so if you need to leave, feel free. But if you still have questions, go ahead and type those in. I'll be happy to answer them. We'll give it a couple more minutes, and then we'll close up shop. All right, Paula's asking, will this list just, whoops, Kellyanne answered and it jumped on me. Let me see. Will this list just show duplicate active givers? Paula, that's correct. So in here in Manage Givers, you have a couple options down here under Display. There's a Show Active and a Show Inactive. So if you keep Show Active checked when you're looking for your duplicates, it's only going to show you those duplicates that don't have a reason for termination or haven't been marked inactive in donations. So if you're wanting to see everybody, if you're wanting a true list of people that are in here, active and non-active, meaning people who haven't been terminated, feel free to come down here and put a check mark in the Show Inactive box, and then you will get a true representation of everything. Now, with that being said, if you do Show Inactive and you see everybody, there might be several situations where the duplicates have already been cleaned up and taken care of. But it's up to you if you want to go digging down like that. All right. If you have any more questions, just hit send so I know they're coming in and I won't close up the webinar before you get your question answered. Yeah, Cheryl, for your situation, I would remove their reason for termination, and then you can actually do a transfer, and you can move them over to the visitors side of membership. I would not re-enter them if they're already in there. If you want to call us, we can help you walk through kind of getting them back reinstated. And if they are coming back as visitors, if their membership didn't stick, then we can transfer them over to visitors real easy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close up the webinar. Like I said, if you go out to the blog at Church Windows, do a search on duplicate, and then you'll be able to find the document that I covered today on today's webinar. Same examples with James Kildare, a couple screenshots. Pretty helpful on figuring out your duplicates, which one you're keeping, and then doing the transfer of the giving and the number, and then of course terminating. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening.